Hey Casa de Garcia, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, hello, welcome. My name is Christina, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how I make my pozole. Super delicious. If this sounds like something you want to watch, go ahead and continue to watch, and here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my big ginormous soup pan and fill it up about, I'm going to say about 2/3 water. Now I'm going to go ahead and add about a medium onion, 5 garlic clove heads, 4 to 5 bay leaves, and some salt. I don't really measure, but if I had to take a guess, I'm going to say about 2 tablespoons. Okay, now I'm going to clean and cut my meat, and I'm using 10 pounds of pork shoulder roast. Sometimes I'll use the butt. People also will use feet and the neck, ribs, but I just prefer it with the pork shoulder roast. I'm cooking for 9 people, and I like to cook enough to have for at least 2 days, especially since I don't make it super often. I usually make at least for 2 days. If you have a small family or want to make a smaller pot, go ahead and make half the recipe. So yeah, I'm just going to cut these down to big chunk sizes. This starts out as a roast, and I always ask the butcher at the supermarket if they can cut it as small as they can, and they usually are able to do, the pieces that you saw. And then I just go ahead and cut them into about 3 pieces. And it is pork, so keep in mind that it will shrink a lot, so I like to have good bite-sized pieces. This is how I like mine to be cut. Now that they're all cut up and rinsed, I'm going to go ahead and stick it into my water that I have coming to a boil. Once you start adding the meat, and if you see that the water starts to fill up too much, go ahead and empty out some of the water with a cup. I usually have to do that. I usually end up adding too much water, but that's okay. Just go ahead and remove some. Then once you have it in there, you're going to give it a nice stir and bring it to a boil. As it's coming to a boil, I usually like to give it a few stirs here and there. Okay, now that it's reached a boil, I'm just going to remove the scum on top, whatever I can, and then I'm going to go ahead and cover it and cook it on low for about an hour. It's going to take about an hour, so in about a half an hour, I'm going to go ahead and put my chiles to boil and then get my hominy ready. And once I stick that into my pozole, I'm going to cut up all my vegetables. Meanwhile, I'm going to cut this hopefully juicy watermelon. I've been kind of disappointed with the watermelons we've been getting. So I'm just going to cut this up for the kids. They're hungry. Have a little snack for the kids to munch before dinner's ready. If you haven't had lemon, tajin, and chamoy with your watermelon or any fruit, you're missing out. Okay, I'm going to start de-seeding and rinsing my chiles, and then I'm going to put them to boil. I have 16 New Mexico chili pods, 6 ancho chiles, and 8 chile de arbol. This is a perfect combination for me and my family. If you want it spicier, you can add more chile de arbol. If you don't want it as spicy, you could omit that. I feel like this is just the right amount of spiciness and flavor for my family. Boil them till soft, and that takes about 15 minutes. Okay, now I'm going to rinse out my hominy, and I'm using the big 108 ounce white hominy, and you could either use the white one or the yellow one. Now that my chiles have came to a boil and they're nice and soft, I'm going to go ahead and add them all to my blender. Once I add them all to my blender, I'm going to go ahead and add some of my broth from my pozole, which has been cooking for just about an hour. Then I'm going to add my seasonings, which I'm going to add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of chicken bouillon. You want to do this to taste. And then I'm going to add about a 1/4 piece of onion and 1 huge garlic clove. And then I'm going to blend for a few minutes. You want it nice and blended. Sorry about my phone, but I'm also filming for TikTok. While my chiles are finishing blending, I'm going to go ahead and add the hominy and then give my soup a nice stir. Then I'm going to go ahead and start straining in my chile sauce. Sometimes this can get annoying because it does take a while, and I will admit that I lose my patience and I'll just dump it in there sometimes. But if there's still chunks of the chile, I do try to strain it out pretty good. Then just bring it to a boil. Once you come to a boil, go ahead and remove as much of the fat as you want. You could also do this at the end or before you pour the sauce in. I forgot to do it before I poured the sauce, so I'm just doing it now. Once you're done skimming off that fat, go ahead and cover it and then cook it on low for another half hour. Also be sure to taste it to see if it needs any more seasoning. Alright, now we're down to the final stretch, and we're going to go ahead and chop up all of our toppings and vegetables. I'm going to go ahead and thinly slice my cabbage. I'm going to do pretty much a whole head of cabbage. dice up a whole onion. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and cut up some radish, and of course you always want to rinse off your vegetables really good. Alright, now time to cut up some lemon pieces. I love lemon, lots and lots of lemon. And last but not least, avocados. Yummy. I don't know if you've ever had avocados on your pozole or any of your soups, but I add it to all of my soups. So yummy. Just sprinkle it on top. You will not regret it. It's so yummy. And then we also love to eat tostadas with sour cream, cheese, and tapatio on top of it. A lot of people don't do the tostadas. They usually just do tostadas plain or just the chips. But oh my god, this is another thing. If you have not done it, you have to try it. Let's check on our pozole and give it a nice little stir. Okay, here's our setup and everything that we use to eat some delicious pozole. Our pozole is finally done. I'm gonna say about 3 hours of total cooking time, and now it's ready to be served. So now I'm serving the family, and oh my gosh, you guys, this pozole is so bomb. It is a little time consuming. It really isn't that hard. It just mainly takes a while to cook. But let me tell you that once it's done and you sink your spoon into that and eat it with your crunchy, cheesy sour cream tapatio tostada, oh my gosh, so yummy. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a fat thumbs up and leave me a comment. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I know it's been a minute, but thank you always for all the love and support.